Hello, family. Hello, welcome. It's Mr. Frederick back again with the good word. Hope everyone's doing good today. I think I have a pretty good one today. Good message today for everyone. Okay, guys, let me go ahead and get started, get on right in it. Let's see here. Today, what we are going to talk about is their insecurities. That's why they did it. Family, insecurity. It's something. It's very interesting. I mean, all of us have insecurities in something. Maybe we don't feel as confident. I think that makes you human. That's okay. You might not feel it might be anything. It could be a fear. It could be a doubt. It could be anything. I mean, to different degrees. I believe everyone has something. Maybe it's something they don't know about. They're just not as knowledgeable about. I mean, a lot of times you might have the confidence, but just the fact that you don't know about it brings upon a certain trepidation. Okay, it's natural. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm not talking about that type of insecurity. I'm talking about an individual where their fundamental confidence in themselves is shaken once they are confronted with someone that they feel has something that threatens them. Okay, I'm talking about that type of insecurity. Now, when we examine that, I think it's important to understand that certain individuals will display that, and there's nothing you could do with it. Excuse me. Ooh. There's nothing you could do with it at that time when you see said individual, because you, on the other end of the stick, you're meeting them, and you're like, hey, okay, you know, I might feel whatever, but I'm going to still move forward, whether I'm insecure, whether whatever. It doesn't impede you from engaging in relationships. No matter what an individual have, or is different than you, maybe something you admire, maybe whatever. It's your view that either makes that an insecurity or makes it something that motivates you. It's your personality, how you look at life. Do you look on the bright side of things or the dark side? And I'm just saying that a lot of times we encounter in our lives early on, family, starting out, it could be schoolmates, it could be anyone in your life that you encounter that you have to deal with their insecurities, and it makes them act a certain way. It makes them shun you. It makes them lie on you. It makes them try to ignore you. All of these things are brought about because of their insecurity. And I can honestly say, I've seen a lot of this in my life, you know, and it's so funny to me because I'm a very humble person. I'm a very down to earth guy. I'm not a guy that has this huge ego and all of this stuff. That's not even why most people have been drawn to me in my life. You know, most of the people drawn to me is because my comfort with myself. So I always looked at it like if someone has to have an inflated ego or something like that, it's actually something else going on there that they're trying to compensate from. Now, some people just genuinely do have a big ego, you know, and so I'm not trying to paint it with a broad brush, but for the most part, what I've found is people who have to announce themselves, there's a reason they got to announce themselves. So me, myself, I've never really felt the need to announce myself, and maybe that's what triggers individuals. But when you understand that that's their issue, this is the key. Family, if you're similar to myself, understand that that's their issue. And I think oftentimes when a person is more down to earth, they can get it misconstrued, and because the person's going to project. Someone who's insecure is doing a whole lot of stuff. They're doing a lot of mental mumbo jumbo going on with them because their ego is bothered and stirred up. So they're going to do some projection. They're going to do gaslighting. They're going to do all sorts of stuff. They're going to be out of sorts. And it's you that's their problem. You're their problem because you spark so much envy and so much jealousy, and their insecurities are being questioned, and they have to act on it. They got to react. So what I say, make sure you remember it's not your problem. It's their problem. Okay? And also, understand that the gaslighting is going to take place. Myself, I've always been what you would call a seer, okay? And I'm not going to say it's always been good. Having that light and having that gift, I'm not saying I've always used it for the best, but for the most part, and understanding and being more aware on this journey of myself and how I go about existing and living in this life, I've learned that the gifts that we're given from God is to share and to do good, do His will. That is where your gifts will be perfected to the highest that you can have them, okay? And that's what I decided to do. Now, sometimes you have to go rogue. You got to go dark in order to get light, okay? And I'm like I said, I'm down to earth. Wear my heart on my sleeve. You know, at least that's what my father used to always tell me when he was alive. But, bless his heart. But, and I do. What you see is what you get. I don't have a whole lot. For one, it's too much trouble. I don't want to work that hard. And then I'm like, all right, who are you to do all of this stuff for? Okay, this is me. You either like me or you don't. Simple. If you like me, great. Maybe we could build and I probably like you too, or da-da-da. If you don't, why do I care? You know what I mean? You don't like me. I'm not going to work to make you like me. And that's just why I live and walk the way I do. It's like, if you don't like me, okay, cool. I'm go over here, you go over there. We don't need to ever talk, see each other. What's the big deal? I'm that way with whoever you are. Family, friends, jobs. I don't care. I really don't want to engage with you, because that means you have a negative energy. And I know I don't bring any bad intentions. I know me. So I know it's something on your part. And so for me, I'm like, you're a waste of time in my life. I'd rather you just leave me alone. So getting back to what I'm saying is, that's my reasoning for just being you. And then I don't want to try to put on all these faces and forget who I am. And it just seems crazy. It's like crazy making work to me. Okay? So the bottom line is, these individuals are going to do a lot of crazy making work. They're going to do things and play games because they're out of sorts. And they're trying to hurt you, but they can't. But being a seer, that gift, you see right through it. And I don't even want to. It's like God gave me that gift. Okay, and yes, like I said, I've used it, I thought in my times for, not the best reasons. But in its purest form, it's to enlighten, okay? Because you have to see in order to shine the light. You have to see. If you don't see, what are you shining the light for? What are you trying to let others see? Your gift is to illuminate. And that darkness that you shine that light on doesn't like that they can see that you see them. And that's another reason. So it's not like a physical thing so much, although I'm not bad looking, But it's not a physical thing for the most part. It's inside. It's spiritual. They can feel that spirit regardless of how you look. They can feel that spirit. If you're 3'11", they can still feel your spirit when you have that gift. You see right through them, family. They're transparent to you. You know their motives. They can try to hide. It's in their eyes. It's in their gestures. You notice every little nuance, okay, when you have that gift. You notice so much. It's scary. And you can't turn it off. It's like it's always on. That being said, when you see through people, you can do one or two things with it. Like I was saying, you can either use it for your benefit some kind of way, or you can try to help them, but you can't help an individual that doesn't want help. They just want to see you as competition and someone to combat. And that's what I find most of the individuals that have the insecurities, because that drive for them to see you as competition and someone that they want to combat, they want to go up against, you now are on the defensive. Now you either got to get away from them, or you have to engage with some barbaric, unnecessary confrontation that's not provoked by you at all. So they're kind of controlling you. So obviously, usually it's best just to get away from these people, family. And I don't care who they are in your life. They're not going to do. You can save their life. You can do good deeds for them. Everything you do that's good for them, it's just they're going to either flip it and make it bad, or they're going to lie, deny, or they're going to make it bad no matter what you do. You could give them $1 million. Oh, well, you just gave me that $1 million because I was poor. This is the insanity. And I know you say, God, Mr. Frederick, what kind of people have you ran into in life? I know. But I also believe that's part of God's journey, is because certain individuals, when you do have a gift, he puts you in situations and around certain people. He's not going to put you around people that don't need help, that can't learn from you, can't grow from you. And you learn something from them too. It's not a one-way street. You are learning from these people, because how could I really learn who I am and my capabilities if I'm around individuals that share the same gifts or don't have the fundamental need for the thing that I carry, which is truth and light. Okay, so I do understand it a lot better now that I'm more older, I'm more spiritual, and I embrace my full self. So I do get why I've been in these people's paths. Like I always tell you guys, nothing's no coincidence. It's all for a reason. Okay, so one thing is they're going to try to manipulate your perception. You know, they're going to try to always, but they don't get that you see through them. So that never works. You try to manipulate my perception when I already see through you. I already know your game plan. I know it's all based on your insecurities. Family, think about it. When you see something the first time, right? I don't care what it is. When you see it the first time, it's amazement, it's bewildered. You're like, whoa, what is this? This is spectacular. This is dramatic. It hits you different the first time, you know? But it's like a first time getting on a roller coaster. First time when you're a little kid, if you could remember that, you probably got on that little roller coaster and was like, wow, mommy, daddy, this is amazing. Ah. Or going to the circus or something, or carnival. It's unbelievable the first time. But family, after you've seen that same circus, that same roller coaster, that same carnival 50 times, it's not going to get that reaction from you. At this point, you're going to be like, okay, that's what you're going to get at that point. You're going to have to actually try to induce some sort of excitement for yourself, because you've seen it so many times. That's the thing with insecure people. Once you've seen a few of them, you've seen them all. You know how the looks. You know how the extra gaze, or the extra looking down, want to look away, can't look you in the eye, or the little, just the lack of acknowledgement, don't want to really kind of engage. It's almost like your presence, your intelligence, everything about you that's a gift, that's great, that's heightened. They just can't. They just want to, it hurts their eyes like a vampire. Like, I can't even look at this. So or they try to misname it, or misshape it, or misinterpret it. And primarily, they know what you are, but what they're doing, they want other people not to see you. That's their key. They want no one else to see. No, don't see that, because now you're going to see him, and then you're going to think back to me, and that's what they want. But what they got to realize, like I always tell you, family, you can't stop the rain when it pours. When God has put something in someone on this earth, you could try everything you want. You could lie to everybody you want. Oh, this person's this. He's that. Don't you know he took out 20 people? You could come up with the most outlandish lies that you want to. It's all going to come out and be revealed, and they're going to look at you like you're insane. All going to come out, because it is written in the Bible. It says, he said, I am the truth, I am the light, the truth shall set you free. All these things are written. The truth, there's nothing hidden in darkness that will not be revealed. So you trying to impede this person being seen, it's not going to happen. They're going to be seen by lots of people. They're going to be seen by so many people, it's going to be unbelievable. And those people, someone might know both of you. And those people are going to say, why don't this person deal with you? So your lies eventually are going to have to be fact-checked, because it's going to be multitudes of people who know both of you. So this is how God works. He don't do it on the time of the manipulator, the time of the insecure person. He doesn't do it on their time. He does it on his time. He does it when it will be exposed to the maximum, everything you did. All the lies, all the that's based on your insecurities, all of that stuff. He's going to do it when you look like a complete imbecile. You look like the smallest minded person walking. Because he wants to make sure that you get the lesson that you ain't God. You can't control the weather. Whether you want to believe it or not, you don't control it. So that insecurity sparks the jealousy, makes them do all of the gaslighting. And it doesn't work on you, because the more you see gaslighting, which is just basically trying to convince somebody there's something that they're not, they're looking at you like, if they really know who they are, if they know they're him or they're her, They're looking at you like, who? Are you serious? And it's funny, but family, get away from these people. They are very dangerous. Because like I said, it leads to jealousy, envy, and it's very dangerous. Insecurities, unchecked, is the reason why a lot of people aren't here today. Because of someone's insecurity that they just couldn't fathom the concept that two individuals could exist at the same time with different gifts, different purposes, and just exist on earth and live on earth at the same time. You know, we had Michael Jackson and Prince. They lived around the same time. I think they were like the same age. Most of their lives, they were here on earth. They were very vastly different. They both were vastly popular, but very different. You know, you can have, two different individuals have some similarities, but they're different because that's how God makes it. It doesn't mean one person has to be insecure about the other person's gifts and talents. They might compete somewhat, but they should both be comfortable in their own skin and at their own merit. They should both look at it like, hey, I know I'm great in my own way and da-da-da. You can have a LeBron and a Jordan. Even though they didn't play at the same time, you could still have two of them. You can still have two of them. No problem. You can have a Muhammad Ali and a Mike Tyson and a Lennox Lewis and a Evander Holyfield and a Rocky Marciano. I'm getting into my boxing now. You can have a Tom Brady, okay? And you can also have a Peyton Manning. Played around the same time. Won a different amount of championships, but both really good guys, really good quarterbacks. You don't have to shrink. You don't have to disappear because individuals have greatness in them as well as you. You can have a Magic Johnson and a Larry Bird. Play literally the same timeline. Both are recognized as fundamentally great players that saved the NBA. No problem. Neither one seemed to be jealous of one another. They both were great. One played in Boston, one played in LA. Storied careers. So it's only a problem when one of those individuals don't think that they're him. You get my point? Magic knew he was him. Larry Bird knew he was him. The only time insecurities come up as a problem when you have two individuals is when one individual, they don't really believe that they're that guy or they're that lady. That's the core of it. It's not two people because they're always going to try to paint it like, oh, this person's messing. They're always going to try to pass off because that's a weak personality trait. That's like a predator. A predator is not strong. Someone who wants to take advantage of individuals, think of it like someone like an abuser, someone like a child abuser, something like that. These are the weakest characters. These are the weakest personalities in the state of personalities. Okay, because they're trying to take advantage of a weaker individual, a weaker vessel. Guys who, you 6'3", 300 pounds beating up on a lady who's 5'5", 30 pounds. He's not a strong man. He's a weak man. And anyone who's taking advantage of someone it's not a fair fight, that's a weak individual. That predator is a weak individual. So people get it twisted. When you have true confidence and you're truly strong, you don't have any need to try to dominate someone who's clearly no competition for you in that arena. Not saying that they can't get you in other areas, because we all have our gifts and strengths and weaknesses and talents. You get my point, family. That comparing, that's where that comes from. That's where that comes from. A lot of times they feel like they cannot stand next to you. They can't stand next to you because people are going to say, wow, look at him, look at her. You don't know that. When you're insecure, everyone doesn't agree. Some people like Prince better than Michael Jackson. Now, most people, Michael Jackson had more worldwide fans, but I know I met so many people that are like, hey, I like Prince. I'm a Prince fan. I'm not as big a Michael Jackson fan at all. So you always going to have your people. Okay? You always going to have your people. And when you have God, that nullifies all people. Because when you have God, it's not about what they say. You can just concentrate on you and that relationship and who God wants you to shine his light on. They will come. They will let you know. God will guide you to your tribe. He will let you know when you have the Lord, he will all things seek the kingdom. He will seek the kingdom. All things will be added through righteousness. So when you have God leading you, this leads you away from the insecurities. Because who you're supposed to have, what you're supposed to have, it all will be added because you are putting God first. So when you see these insecure individuals, they are lacking in God himself. That is the fundamental problem with insecurities. You're lacking in God because you're not paying homage to the beautiful creation that he made in you. This is the problem. Now, if you put God first, I guarantee you those insecurities are going to dwindle because you're going to see, maybe I don't need to play this tune. Maybe I don't need to run this way. Maybe I don't need to sing this way, dance this way. Whatever you do, write this way, talk this way. It's not, nothing you do is going to be everybody's cup of tea. It's always going to be someone, and you can see this in comedy, family. You'll see a great comedian that everybody's laughing. And you always see the comedian always says, hey, I noticed that one person in the front that doesn't laugh at me. So they're taught to look to the back of the crowd. They're taught to look to the wall, or singers and all. You know, a lot of entertainers are taught to look. Don't look up because they'll see someone there not laughing, not entertained, not clapping, not saying yay. They're not concentrating on that because they got everybody in the room that is. They're concentrating on something else. And that's how you got to do with God in your insecurities. When you concentrate on God, you're not looking at that person that ain't laughing. That person is not listening. It's not for that person right now. And maybe years later, it will be for that person. And maybe it'll never be. Who cares? You're not there to make everyone your fan. Okay? You're here to live out your purpose that God wants you to live out. Seek the kingdom. And all things will be added. And last but not least, fam, I want to make a point that your worth is not based on what someone thinks. It's not. Find something better than somebody else think. That person could be here today and gone tomorrow. And your whole existence based on what they think. Now what you going to do? You know, thinking someone is going to take something of yours. What is yours, family? You don't own anybody in this world. You don't own anybody. You get married. You can have a spouse, a mate, whether you're a woman or man. You don't own that person. They are in an agreement temporarily, okay, because we ain't nothing lasts forever. They're in an agreement that they want to share their life, their living life here on earth with you. They made that agreement at that time. That might change. You do not own that person. That person, it has other people before they met you, a family, friends, whoever, that mattered, that they impacted in their life that has nothing to do with you. You don't own that person. You own no one. Release the need to feel connected or feel like you have ownership or you have this possession. No one is your possession. People have free will to do what they want at any time. Okay, so stop looking at people as I need to possess their thoughts. I need to make this person like me. I need to make this person think I'm better than him or better than her. Let them freely think what they want. Oh, they can say whatever. Oh, you look like, I don't know, Dave Chappelle. You look like Prince. People can say whatever thing they want. Who cares? That's their opinion. That has nothing to do with you. So release the insecurities. You see how it just is it's a slippery slope of you getting away from God when you live off of insecurities. These insecurities make people do the worst things. I think back to one story to think this and I'm gonna close it on this, guys, is when you think of frenemies, okay? I think back to the Selena story. And she had her fan club manager, or I can't remember her exact title, but the lady who actually, was responsible. That story was so sad to me, such a beautiful, talented young lady, and to suffer that tragedy due to the hands of jealousy, in my estimation. Okay, someone who, just had that bone to pick with her, and you got to look at that and say to yourself, watch who you let get close to you. Because even though you might have a good heart and you might look at, hey, I'm open to everyone, that individual that comes to you in the guise of, I want to support you, if they don't have themselves together and love themselves and don't take care of themselves, I'm talking, taking care of their body, mind, and soul, what makes you think they're going to take care of you? And I'm going to leave it on that note, guys. Peace.